Date of birth?
Friday, 31st of December, 1937.
You're living with your daughter at the moment?
Yes, until she goes to live in Paris.
No, Dad, why do you keep going on about Paris?
You told me.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry, Anne, you told me the other day. Have you forgotten? She's forgotten. Paris. They don't even speak English there.
How much is too much? That's the question I kept asking myself as I watched The Father, an emotionally draining film about a man's experience with dementia. Even after the movie was done and I began to mull over what I had witnessed and the impact that it left on me, I kept asking myself that same question. How much is too much? Let me start off by saying that I've never cried while watching a movie. Now, that's not some macho bullshit either. I mean, I have no problem with crying. I've just yet to experience it while watching a film. The Father is definitely one of the closest times that I've come to doing so, which is both praise and a criticism of the film. Most times when watching a film dealing with the effects of dementia, it's from the perspective of that person's loved ones and how it affects them. With The Father, the film sees things through the afflicted person's point of view instead, which is a great idea. How does this person view the world? What goes on in their mind when they don't recognize the person they're speaking to? The film does a great job of portraying that confusion that is present in this person's life. The filmmaker does clever things to make us see things from his perspective and how he views the world while suffering from this condition. Sometimes he doesn't know what day it is or what time of the day it is. Sometimes he'll recall memories from a long time ago but think that they just happened. And as the audience, seeing things through his eyes, we're just as in the dark as he is. Sometimes actors will be replaced by someone else completely but still playing the same role. And the set itself is even prone to change as well. When the nominees for the Oscars released and this film got a production design nomination, I thought it was odd. Wasn't this just a flat and nothing more? But after seeing the film, I understood. The flat itself almost feels like a living entity as well, as it's constantly changing while still maintaining its shape. There are times doors will open up to different areas and times that things may seem normal until you realize they're taking place in a completely different location. There's moments it can be comforting and moments that can feel entrapping. And it's all done with just this space, which is very impressive. So the production design is fantastic, but the film wouldn't have gone as far as it did if it weren't for some amazing performances as well. And I have to say, Anthony Hopkins gives a career best. In fact, a big part of why I came so close to crying was just how vulnerable he presented himself at points. He did an outstanding job, and same goes for Olivia Colman. In fact, when these two characters were on screen together and interacting with each other, I believed they were family. I believed it was father and daughter. This movie showcases their talents exceptionally well. So where does the film go wrong for me? The big problem here is that each scene is just one depressing moment after another. Even the few times the film had a kind of cute moment, it contains some really sad points. And by the time the film is done, all you're left with is just this empty feeling. Maybe that's the point. This isn't a condition that can be cured. And as we're seeing things through the afflicted's eyes, we're also not going to get answers because he's not going to get answers. But in having the movie story move this way, it turns into a situation where I'm just waiting for the next sad thing to happen. There's no joy to offset the tragedy, so it just became a film that I waited to see a conclusion to so the nightmare could end. That's not to say that I'm opposed to tragedy. In fact, if done right, a truly heart-wrenching movie has sometimes left the biggest impression on me. But for those films, there was often joy to offset the tragedy of the film. And when all you have is just sad scene after sad scene, tragedy after tragedy, you start to ask yourself, how much is too much? I'm still mulling it over. As for the film, I give The Father a 4 out of 5 with the recommendation to rent it. Let me make this clear. It's not a film for everyone. I know a few people in my life who will quickly switch it off. But that said, I don't think it's a bad movie. There are some very impressive things done here, and I'm glad it exists so I could experience them. Whew. First one down, and I'm already feeling drained. So, yeah, join me tomorrow for another review, guys. You wouldn't want to disappoint Father, would ya? Alright, guys, like always, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Do you think this one's gonna win the Oscar? And of course, like always, stay safe out there, and have a good one.